Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Lindsay Adamson. I am the lead support person for Causeway, and we'll be providing a member training to you. We've been working with the NFC Forum on the migration to Causeway from your prior workspace. And so I'm here to kind of give you an overview and kind of answer any questions you may have. Just sharing my screen. So the first thing, as you can see here, is that the first step is to reestablish your credentials. One note is that you will be using your full email address to log into this new system. Once you have established your credentials, you'll be able to log in. Upon logging in, you'll be greeted with the All Members area. So this is your new members home page. The team has added a variety of resources. You have it on this landing page as seen here, member resources, technology roadmap, and so forth. And you also have items on the left-hand side, such as links to specifications, information on the certification program, a pretty general user FAQ if you have any questions along the way. And last but not least, a report of workspace issue. So that form gets sent and we can work with the team to address any issues that are found. So that's kind of your new members landing area. From here, if you always kind of from a navigation standpoint, if you can always go to the home, and this will drop you right back into the all members area. It will welcome you with your first name and your company affiliation. And then the user settings, we're going to touch on this a little bit here. It will be important as part of the transition. It's a good opportunity to review your information, make sure it's up to date. We also have some settings here you may want to consider as well. We have an email delivery option. So we were able to bring over all of your email delivery options as they were in the prior workspace system. What this would do is this will establish your default email delivery settings for any future groups you may be joining. We offer very similar options, the three being individual emails. So those are emails as they are sent, receiving them. Daily digest, which is one email per day per group you belong to. And then no email, which means you would not receive any email notifications, any calendar notices, and so forth for any of those groups. And these can be updated on a group by group basis. And I'll show you where you can do that in a minute. This last section here is the date and time preference. Again, this is to your personal preference and in your system yourself. And then the last section is the dashboard settings. You can customize the number of columns shown in your dashboard, which will become clear in a minute. So those are your user settings. In addition, under here, user settings, you have the ability under profile privacy to optionally share other items. By default, the system is required to share your company and your first name and last name. You can optionally share these items if they're in the system with your fellow members. You can change your password at any time, obviously. Your work group memberships. So this is a view of all the groups based on your company participation, where you can participate. So it will show kind of the groups in which you can join. It also will show groups in which you are a member of. So here you can see in the retail and payment working group, I'm an administrator of this work group. I can either leave or I can edit the settings here as well. So this offers a nice summation of areas in which maybe you are participating or maybe that you might be interested in participating in the future. The next section is a mailing list. So again, we have both the group memberships and then we also have mailing lists. For this demo purpose, I happen to be one of the chairs, so I'm automatically added to this list. And again, I'm given the option to view the settings and the archives from here. The Manage Your Email Subscriptions is where you can update your preferences on email delivery on a per work group basis. Again, it's just kind of getting at the same information in a different view. So you can see here, if I wanted to move to Daily Digest for one group, I could do that, hit submit, and then that would update my email subscription options. This last link is a Manage Calendar Subscriptions options. We'll touch on this a bit more when we get to the calendar, but it is another option for subscribing to the calendar. So those are all found in the user settings. We do recommend kind of reviewing those as you begin to get used to the system as part of this transition. Additional links here are the public site. This will take you to the public NFC forum site. Sign out is obvious. It's a sign out button. And then this is what we are calling the site-wide search. So again, if you're looking for something and you're not sure which group it belongs to, this is a good idea, a good way to do that as well. You can have the option to search by keywords. You can also search by groups in which you're a participant of, document extension, date ranges, name, email address, company, and then these are the content types in which you can also search as well. Again, that's kind of a site-wide search. It's always on the top bar on any page you visit. So I'm going to pause there for initial round of questions. I forgot to mention at the beginning, I will pause throughout. We can use either the chat or you can come off mute and ask any questions on any particular thing I have either discussed or maybe haven't gotten to yet. So with that, are there any questions on kind of the user settings or getting into the system that I can address? Okay, now I'm going to go to kind of a work group setting and show you kind of the various features that are available in what we call the modules, which are documents, discussions, and calendar in this case. So I'm going to go to this one first. So just for review, we were able to bring over all the documents, discussions, calendar events, and any ballots from your prior system. So those have all been imported. And now we are fully using this new system moving forward. So all the historical information should have been brought over. That's what we've been working towards. So when you're joining your groups, you should be able to see, while the look and feel will be different, all your information should be there and so forth. We've added the co-chair information at the top, as well as the group email and chair email if you need to contact them. For the group emails, it's important to note that they have not changed as part of this transition. So if you're used to sending to this particular working group, that address has not changed. So now I'm going to go into a test work group to show you kind of some of the features. So again, we have the four, what we call modules, so documents, discussions, calendar, and voting. You can see here in the details section, you'll have the chair listed, and then it shows the last 3 members to join. This is also where you can view the full member list. You can email the administrator, you can view your settings, and then this last link actually just populates an email to the work group if you don't have that email. In terms of documents, so this is the dashboard. Again, here you can minimize and maximize, you can drag and drop based on your preference, and this is also that 3-column view, so you do have the option to make it either 2 or 4 as well. I'll pause one more time before I go into documents if there are any questions. Okay, so moving on to documents. So the dashboard will show you the last 3 documents. This just happens to not have that many. You can see in the discussions we have 3 as well. So the dashboard is intended to show the latest activity, any open ballots that require voting, and then the next 3 meetings. So moving to the document. Yes, sorry. Was there a question? Oh, no, sorry. Okay, so moving to the documents module, you'll see here that we have the folder structure on the left-hand side. This will mirror what you're used to in your other working groups. We were able to bring those over. The little down button indicates that you can, there's sub-navigation as well. So this is the folder structure. You'll see it mirrored here in the center area as well. We also have the recent documents, which is a flat hierarchical view. So again, that removes the folder structure, and it's kind of a quick way to see kind of the latest documents in kind of a flat view. This next section is all shared. So if there happens to be documents that are shared with your group, this is somewhat of a new feature, then you'll see those here. So that's what the left side is. We do have a search within the documents itself because it is such a robust document area. So it works very similar to the site-wide search I showed above, but it's just restricted to the documents specifically. In order to, let's say, upload a document, so I'm going to go back to the main area. So you'll see here that you can create folders, you can upload a document, you can attach a document link, which is basically an external link. It's optional. You can upload multiple documents. So this would be, you could do kind of multiple at a time, or you could upload a zipped file as well. The restore documents is for those instances that you might have like an oops to a delete. So you can for a period of time restore any deleted documents. You also have the ability to move documents. Let's say, for example, if you've uploaded something in the wrong folder. See, where did I put that? If you've uploaded something in the wrong folder, you can simply just take that document and move it to the correct folder by this action. So I can just come in and move it, and it will move it to that folder in which I just put it in. To upload a document, there's options. So again, we support drag and drop. So I'll just show you what that looks like here. So again, I've just dragged over a document. It will bring up a screen, as you can see here. It will optionally adopt the file name of the document that you've just added, or you can give it a different title that will also be shown. So again, if it's blank, it'll adopt the file name, or you can optionally give it its own file name. The folder will automatically default to the folder in which I navigated from. You have the option to switch that as well. So let's say if I wanted to go into submissions instead. You have statuses. We have 2, draft or final. So those are fairly obvious. We have the require revision numbers option. If you simply uncheck that, that removes that from the requirement. You can always add it back in after the document has been added as well. We offer the auto incrementing. So if you want to start the revision, you could just start it at 0 and then it would increment up from there. The description is always included in the message sent to the workgroup members, and it also is always a part of the document itself. So it lives with the lifetime of a document. And then these last sections are options available. So again, by default, every action within Causeway has the option to notify. So we have checked that here. So if you don't want to notify, you would need to uncheck. But again, this will send a message to announce that I've uploaded this document. And then we have the post date, which typically will default to the time in which I've started adding it. So I'm going to upload. One thing to note about all the uploads and notification process within this new system is that it is a 2-step process. I think what you have grown accustomed to is, if you were to say upload and then it would just automatically send the notice. Within Causeway, we offer the opportunity to customize that message further. So you can see here, the email will include the title and a link to view the document, but then we can also customize the message that gets sent and say, perhaps like a please review by, date or something along those lines. And then you send the email out to the group. So when that's sent, you get a notice, and also it includes your customizable text. From this view, there's a few options you can do as well once you've uploaded a document. We have the comments enabled, so you could enable comments and disposition of comments. You can share the document with other work groups, so you could simply come here and say, I want to share it with another working group, and then you can also send a notification as well. Over here, you can have advanced settings too, so you can remove the revision numbers or something of that nature. You can lock a document. Locking a document means that it will remove the ability to have revisions added. And then you can also check out a document. So checking out gives the users of the group notice that you're modifying a document and that you're working on it. So again, it will indicate who has checked it out and when. And then it expires as well. So then you can always come in and check it back in at any time. You can also establish keywords as well. So just to give an idea of what the document post looks like, I'll show you what the email as I just received looks like. So you can see here as it comes in, it shows that I've posted on behalf of the test work group. It indicates that the document has been uploaded. This is my description that I added, and then this is a link to the document. So again, this is just showing kind of what it will look like in your inbox as received. Any questions on the document repository? Okay, moving on. So discussions, as noted earlier, all the discussions have been brought over. All the email lists are the same as they were. If you need to get what the email is, you just simply can say send email to this list, and that will populate in your email application of choice to send the message directly. There it goes. Sorry. We store all the emails here in the archive. So this is, again, a way to show, kind of see the activity of an email list. If there's attachments, you can see those as well. They're indicated by this blue icon. And then if you were to click on it, you would see the attachments kind of down at the bottom. So these are the ICS files for the calendar, as an example. Messages are all sent and received as long as you're on the list. And then if you're not, then they can be moderated as such. Fairly typical to what you're used to. We manage kind of the discussions in a similar way. Any questions about email in general or the discussion module? Okay, moving on. Calendar. One thing to note as part of this transition about the calendar is that while we were able to bring over the calendar events, the series in effect have been broken. So every event has been brought over, but they are individual events. So you might, we are recommending that as we start getting into the new year, leaders and chairs of the group go in and reset their meetings. It will work, but we just find that it's better if the series kind of are reinstated in the system. So here I've added a few test meetings. You can see here under options, you have the ability to add an event. You can see your time zone. You can jump to other months. You can also kind of go forward and back here as well. The links here for subscribe to calendar, we mentioned this as well earlier. This is also available in your user settings. What this is this is an additional option to the notification calendar option. This basically will establish an internet calendar that you can subscribe to. You can select the groups in which you want that to happen. You can choose option 1 or option 2. Those are typically based on what email application you're using and how it's supported. And then basically what it will do is it will push ads, edits, and cancellations to that internet calendar as updates are made. That's all happens in addition to what we'll call the standard notification kind of email process for calendaring. Completely optional. We find about half of our users use the subscribe to calendar option. This next link as well as the resend future calendar events. The use case here is, let's say you join a group and that series of meetings has already been established and you don't have that in your email. What this will do is this will resend all those calendar events to you so you can quickly come up to speed and get those meetings on your calendar if you happen to miss the initial series going out. That's something that you do based on your user account. So you can't do that for some other user. You need to do it for yourself. This last section is a little different. So within each group you can see this is the test work group calendar, but I also have the option to select all working groups so that I'm a participant of. So I can see my participation across the board based on my group participation, the calendars here. And this can happen from any group in which you're in. You just simply say all, and then you can see the meetings that are populated as such. A few other features of the calendar I want to mention is the ability to track attendance. So I have this meeting set up occurring during this meeting, for example. You can see here this button has appeared. It will change to record my attendance as present 15 minutes to the start of the scheduled meeting, and then be here for the duration of the scheduled meeting. So through this hour, it will appear. You could record your attendance as present, and you'll see that you're noted as being attended. I believe we are asking users to use this tool to mark their attendance, to show kind of what it looks like after a meeting attendance has been tracked. I can show you an example, I believe, here. You can see in the left-hand side, you can see the attendance list. We have enabled that visibility as well after the meeting has occurred. Each meeting has their attendance tracked, and you can do that directly while the meeting is underway and 15 minutes prior to the start. And I think that covers all the calendar items I wanted to address. Are there any questions about calendar? Oh, I think I did forget one thing. Bear with me. So with the calendars, as they are sent, they do appear in your email application as tentative. So you're given the option to accept or decline based on that. And so that's how it appears. And then also updates that come if you were to edit or cancel. Let's say I wanted to cancel this event. The option here, we have the cancel and then delete. So cancel, we'll leave it on the calendar and have it visible, but it's kind of struck through as canceled. Delete actually removes it entirely. That's more useful if you don't want that meeting to appear, you're kind of resetting or something along those lines. As a note here, it's very important that you do always want to send the notice out for the calendar, because that important iCal file is what gets generated and it gets put at the meeting on the calendar. So it's very important as part of this process that you include the notification piece, this send iCal with notification. So I'm going to say cancel event. Send, and that notice has been, you can see it struck through in the calendar, and then it also is canceling and showing that same thing in my calendar on my work machine. Moving on to the last section of voting. So if there were votes taken or in a group, let's see here, those have been brought over here. You can see we have a list as well. So again, there's no current voting as far as I know open, but this lists all the prior ballots that have been made. If a ballot is open and available for voting, you'll be able to see that from the dashboard. You also will get notifications. We offer very similar notifications in terms of, opening a ballot. If you haven't voted, we issue 3 reminders, and then upon closing, we also send the notice as well. But it will appear in this little voting area here. It will have a link to the ballot. If an alternate or you're not permitted to vote, it will message that accordingly as well. But this is kind of where you get notified in addition to the notification for balloting. Any questions on votes or ballots? Okay. So just in kind of summary, those are the 4 modules we've brought over. Those are the 4 that are going to be made available to the NFC Forum to use. Moving forward, if you have any questions, we do recommend taking a look at the user guide or those that FAQ here in the All Members area. And last but not least, we do have a support button. You can either use the report the issue, or we have a direct email support@nfcforum.org that goes to both my team at the Causeway team as well as the NFC Forum team. So again, we can address if there's an error or a bug or something along those lines, that can come to my team. And if it's like a permission or visibility issue, we can work, that would be with the NFC Forum. And so, we anticipate hearing from a few of you throughout this transition. Have appreciated your patience and look forward to you using the system. Looks like there's one question. I'll open it up for other questions. The roster of one's own company, that's currently available to the primary contact of the company. That does exist. If you're the designated primary contact, you have the ability to view the roster and then kind of administer it as well. Any other questions? All right, then. Well, I will give you some time back. I thank you for attending today and appreciate your time.